This is a curveball though. What happens if a small business owner, and we might have to put this in the front of the video, doesn't have a business consultant? Why should they have one? And why, if they don't have one, should they be thinking about investing in one? If you have a business consultant, and why you should fire them.
Okay, that's not what we're talking about today.
We're not?
No. You want to read it?
If your business consultant isn't doing these 3 things, then you're going to fire them. Let's start with number 1, telling you the hard truths about how disorganized you are. If you're watching this, we're hoping that maybe something resonates with you. And also because we've seen thousands of business owners flail in the course of the pandemic with trying to get a business loan. We know there are lots of different opportunities for one to be disorganized.
We had lunch very recently with our good friend Luann DePrado, who is a mortgage banker extraordinaire. Hello, Luann. I am talking about you. Wait, that sounds like Count Dracula.
I know.
Okay. Well,
it was
Luann,
Halloween like
we had
3
lunch,
weeks
and
ago.
I'm a retired mortgage banking loan officer. Luann not retired. She's still breaking it up and busting it out and booming away out there. Our conversation was about a whole bunch of things, but one of the things that I brought up was a phrase I created in the mortgage business called LOD, Loan Officer Disease. And she said, well, what is that? And I said, well, one element of loan officer disease is the inability to tell the prospective client, the borrower, the applicant, the hard truth about whether they're qualified for the mortgage or what the interest rate's going to be or about a request for document, any number of things. I don't know why people have such a difficult time doing that, but let's explore that because that's one of the things your business consultant needs to do. We want you to be aware that maybe you need to grab them a little bit and kind of say to them, it's okay to tell me the truth. I need to hear it because I want my business to be the best it can be and I don't want to work so hard. I want to have fun doing this.
Even when you're super organized, there's always something that has gone unattended. There's no way for perfection because there's too many things happening at once. There's too many hats being worn at once. Sometimes there's a lack of delegating, so you let something pile up because you think, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Or you think you'll make the time and the time never comes because something else interrupts.
Well, the other side of it too, I think this goes back to the conversation, Luann, about loan officer disease. I think also I think people are afraid of hurting someone else's feelings or anticipating a negative reaction to the truth, which then comes back on you. You tell the person the truth about something, like in this case, efficiencies or the organization or disorganization of how your small business is running, and they're afraid that you're going to start yelling at them.
Yeah.
That's why maybe it's important for you to manage their expectations. Maybe we make that kind of your solution to this problem. Tell your business consultant, I listened to Linda Ray and Trevor, and they told me that money has no ego. Money literally has, you take a dollar bill out, you yell at it. Man, that is some bad hair, George.
It's
they
not
don't
devalued.
care.
It's not
Does not devalued. Oh,
it's not all of a sudden 75 cents.
You'd set out the expectation with your consultant, hey, I'm paying you to tell me what I need to know.
Yeah, it's a fair exchange of expectations. So, okay, number 2, creating an organization plan for basic documents. This is huge. We actually have a document on what documents should be organized. We're going to put a link down below in the description for you to access that.
And give it to
the
consultant. Hey, that's why you're paying them. Give it to them so they can review the documents. If you hire somebody to clean the bathrooms, you don't go and stand over them and show them how to swirl the brush around in the toilet. You hired somebody to clean the bathrooms. Not that you wouldn't do it yourself if you had to, because that's how great a boss you are.
How businesses are run. You have participated in every aspect of the business.
I won't ask anybody to do something I wouldn't be willing to do myself. Number 3, número 3.
Demanding you revise your operational processes for efficiency. So,
I demand you do this. They're earning their money if they say something like that.
So they should be demanding that you are updating your operational procedure manual or your operations manual, because it's a working, living, breathing document, because things change all the time, that you have to keep updating these types of documents, because it's good if you have employees, if you have to delegate, it's good for process.
What are operational processes? If you have a factory, you've got your assembly line, you've got machines, you've got people working the assembly line, maybe you've got robots, you've got inventory control that brings raw materials or product or shipping boxes into the assembly line, quality control that tests out things. If you're in an office, you have how people answer the phone, you've got scripts for incoming calls or outgoing calls to customers. You have
Even-
all these processes.
Even something as simple as a uniform signature in your email and how that should be formatted.
These are all the, do you see that we're kind of drilling down to the nitty gritty
granular.
here? This is what your consultant is getting paid to do. And if they're not,
doing it.
tell them what they want.
If they're
Linda,
not
right?
doing it, then they're not doing it. What you won, you lost whatever you're paying
Some
them.
challenges there?
Yeah.
About that.
What happens if a small business owner is thinking, why would I even need a consultant? I'm too small for that.
You're never too small. You know why I know that? Because I've been a manager of sales staff. I've been a manager of operations staff. What's a manager in a corporate setting or in a business setting? You know what a manager is? It's an internal consultant who does things like this.
Yeah.
So if you are a small business, you want to do the math and say, is it something I can afford to do? And will it have a benefit? Well, my answer to the second question is it's absolutely going to have a benefit if your consultant is doing these three things that we're recommending here.
One way to look at it is basically an accountability partner for your business. How you may be too close to certain things on how you're managing and how you're handling, how you're executing, how you're not executing. And that's what a consultant would help for you to bounce ideas off of, or for them to notice something that maybe you're not paying attention to.
When I was a manager, whether it was an operational or sales, my role often involved observing how a system worked or a process or how a person performed in certain circumstances, and then giving feedback on that operation, that process, or that person. That's essentially what a business consultant can do for your business. Someone who steps outside of yourself and gives you the hard truth. They're not afraid to give you the truth, and they guide you in the documents and in the processes that need to be revised and updated and become more efficient.
The reason for this video is also to know when the person you did hire might not be the right fit.
And that's why we call it simple sense for small business, to keep it simple and sensible, like common sense, and help you to have more fun running your business so you're not owning a job.
And action.
And cut. And that's why I, Trevor, and she, Linda Ray, are here to share that information with you.
Till next time.